Karen Drexler, CEO of Sandstone Diagnostics. We've developed a centrifuge that fits in the palm of my hand as part of our quest to improve access to diagnostic testing for people. Those centrifuges have been around for a long time. Most biological samples end up getting centrifuged. Blood samples are sent into central labs where the samples are spun out in these large, bulky, fussy instruments. And there's a really good reason for this. The blood cells in the sample degrade from the moment the sample leaves the body. And the breakdown of those cells reduces the quality of the plasma and the quality of the diagnostic test. So having this first step, this really important step for testing, be done in a central lab limits innovation in the space until now. So imagine a world where we can collect samples anywhere. We can spin them down and stabilize them anywhere. And eventually we can do the testing that's needed so that we can provide the data that people need when they need it at the point where the patient is. Well, that's what we imagine. That's what we think about. So we're very excited to be able to bring this platform to market. So this centrifuge is as powerful as a lab centrifuge, despite being powered by just 2 AA batteries. It's also FDA cleared, CLIA waived, and is available for use by patients at home. So what are we doing with this great platform? Well, our first application is focused on a global epidemic. This is an epidemic which can be devastating for people, financially, economically, emotionally. I'm talking about male infertility. That's right, over the next 5 minutes, settle in because we're going to talk about sperm. Sperm counts have been plummeting around the world, and 1 in 5 men now have infertility issues. So we've got probably, 100, 200 people in the room, 1 in 5. Okay, guys, who wants to volunteer and come up on stage and talk with me about low sperm count and what you're doing about it?
Karen, I'll talk about my sperm count.
Okay, great. So please, everyone, help me welcome Greg Sommer, co-founder of Sandstone, to the stage.
Thank you. Well, actually, Karen, I'm not just a founder, I'm also a client.
Well, wasn't that the tagline for Hair Club for Men?
How dare you, Karen? It's 2019. Bald is in.
Okay, whatever. Well, we are here to talk about the impact that this device and our system can have on men who are facing fertility challenges.
That's right.
Can you tell us about your story and how this affected you?
I'm happy to, thank you. So we built this technology because men have been left out of the fertility discussion for far too long. Infertility is a big problem, and it's an even bigger market, yet nearly everything in this space focuses on women, despite men being responsible for nearly half of all cases of infertility. On top of that, sperm counts are in a deep global recession right now. The average sperm count has plummeted by over 50% over the last 4 decades, and is showing no signs of leveling off. And let's face it, this isn't exactly the easiest topic for men to address and talk about. We're not exactly surprised that no one raised their hand when Karen asked for a volunteer to join her on stage. So we set out to build a technology that could bring men into the fertility discussion and balance that fertility equation for couples trying to conceive. It's called Trak. This is the first and only device that allows men to measure, track, and improve their sperm count and semen volume in the comfort of home. And yes, I said track our sperm count. You see, sperm are pretty finicky. It turns out that men's health and lifestyle behaviors can dramatically impact sperm production and be the difference between getting pregnant or not. So this tool that we've built has emerged into an ecosystem of insights, guidance, and feedback that can help men take control of their sperm production as couples try to get pregnant. Now, at the risk of getting too personal with the folks in this room, I'd like to tell you about my sperm count. So when we started this company, I was newly married, I didn't have any kids, and not exactly the healthiest guy. And like most men, I never thought about my sperm count, never even crossed my mind. And then all of a sudden, I started a male fertility company in a garage with some friends, and before you knew it, I had one of the most well-documented sperm counts on the planet. And we quickly learned that sperm count is a marker of a man's overall health. So I decided to start my own personal experiment. I was a little overweight, so I set off to get myself in better shape, lose some weight, and I decided to track my sperm count over that time frame, and the results blew me away. Over the course of nearly 4 months, I lost my goal of 17 pounds, and my sperm count nearly doubled. And I can tell you, when I started, my sperm count was right about average. Over the course of that time frame, it nearly doubled at the point where Karen knows I'm not one to brag, but my sperm count got pretty high. I was a lean, mean sperm-making machine. Not only that, my pants fit better, I felt better, my mood was improved, I slept better. I never felt better in my whole life, and that can be the difference between pregnancy and not. And in fact, something else happened at that time as well, and my wife and I are now proud parents to 3 beautiful little girls. In fact, our youngest just turned 3 months old yesterday, and they're the best part of our lives. And I think a lot of people in this room, thank you. We couldn't imagine life without our kids, and I think a lot of people in this room would agree with me that, being parents is the best part of our lives. Infertility is devastating. This is a condition that millions of men and women around the globe quietly struggle with day in and day out. It consumes their lives. They wrestle with it. It rips them apart. We are very proud that we are changing the way couples approach their fertility and their reproductive health, and changing the way couples get pregnant and deal with this condition. For the first time, Trak is putting men front and center, right there with their partner from day one, to treat fertility as not a his or hers problem, as a his and hers pursuit that they're going to take on together. And the best part of our jobs are the daily success stories we get from men using our product, taking control of their reproductive health on their path to fatherhood. And we're changing this ecosystem. For the first time, men are out there, they're talking about it, they're sharing their stories, they're helping people out. If you don't believe me, check out our website at don'tcookyourballs.com. This is a site that is interactive, it has communities, it has stories, it has content and education and articles, and it now sees tens of thousands of visitors every single day, and we don't spend a dime advertising about it. We're changing the stigma around infertility, and we're very proud of that. We're making a real impact in this area of healthcare, but we're only getting started. Karen, why don't you tell them about the future applications for our centrifuge?
Sure, and thanks so much for sharing your story, Greg. So we've developed the most powerful and versatile centrifuge on the planet, and there's a lot that we can do with this. It's very exciting, all the different applications. We're tackling some of the hardest problems in the diagnostic space: early detection and monitoring of infectious disease, including sepsis, and early detection of cancer using blood-based diagnostics. So again, very, very exciting. What we're able to do with this system is we have developed what we call our disc. This replaces a blood collection tube. So blood can be collected, it's a vacuum-based disc. Blood can be collected directly into this disc wherever the patient is. And that disc fits directly on this centrifuge. And based on the size, obviously, this can be anywhere. So this gives people the ability to have blood drawn, have the sample stabilized in any location around the world. And that gives us the most pure possible plasma. And it's quite stable. It can be either extracted to be used for testing right at that point, or it can be sent off to a central facility for testing like cell-free DNA testing, where there's a higher equipment need. So very exciting to be able to use this platform to approach some of these other difficult problems. We're really proud to be part of this army of global transformers, health transformers, and are looking forward to being able to come to future meetings and share additional stories about the impact we're making in some of these other areas. So it's a new year. January is a great time for resolutions. For the guys in the audience, you ready to learn about your sperm health and make some improvements? I hope so. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.